Hey, it's Ken Jacobs, and welcome back to Taking the Lead. It's October, and the word for the month is focus. I want you to think about focusing, and I want you to focus. We think we can multitask. We've been told we can multitask. Guess what? Your brain would disagree. Your brain is not designed for multitasking. I mean, look, multitasking is doing a lot of things, many things, but none of them well. And I know that's not what you want for yourself as a leader, as a practitioner, as a manager. It does not work. The brain is not designed for it. You know what the brain is designed for? Unitasking. Some call it executive functioning, right? And we can only do one executive functioning thing at a time. That's what your brain is designed for. So I want to recommend this to you, especially if you struggle with getting enough done in the day or getting the most important things done in the day. Stop multitasking, start unitasking. That means focusing on something 15, 20 minutes, half hour at most, and then stopping and resting and recuperating and going on to something else. Now, that means no interruptions, no pings, no bings, no Slack, no email notification, no text notifications, nothing. It's got to be uninterrupted, complete focus. You will get so much more done. Not only that, you'll do it well and you're able to focus on the really big things. When we're interrupted by a person, a phone call, those other things I mentioned, text or Slack, we think we can go back into what we were concentrating on, but the brain sees it differently. The brain needs time to recuperate from interruptions. I've seen theories that it takes the brain a full 15 minutes to recuperate from an interruption. So if you think about if you have all these things on, email pings, Slack, text, people in your workplace that interrupt you if you're working together, if it's one of those days, and if you're getting 8 interruptions a day and it really takes your brain 15 minutes or so to recuperate, that's 2 hours of waste a day. I don't think anyone in PR, in leadership, in any of the things you do. If you're a subscriber to Taking the Lead in our page, you cannot afford 2 hours of waste a day. Of course not. And why would you? So it's about getting more done and doing it well and using your brain the way your brain wants to be worked. And that's all about unitasking. We've recommended this to very many of our clients, and they've all thanked me. And they've all said they're getting more done, but more importantly, they're getting more of the really important stuff done. Because remember, at your level, you're not getting paid for your time on Zoom, right? You're not getting paid to just bounce around all day. I believe you're paid for strategy, for creativity, for the quality of your thinking. So it only makes sense when you are a leader and when you look at how you lead yourself to give yourself quality time to work on quality things, to create quality outputs and results from that time. You'll be amazed at what happens when you unitask and you're not interrupted. Now, one other thing I'd like to mention, since we're talking about focus, is focusing when you read a document, read it carefully, read it thoroughly, take some notes. And especially when you read an email, don't just hit reply. Read it once, read it twice. Make sure you've taken it all in. Make sure you've thought about your reply. And if the person sends you an email with 4 bullets in it, please make sure to respond to all 4. I send emails to people that say, here are the four things to discuss, or I'd like to suggest, or that will help you. And they only reply on two. And then I've got to say, great. And what was your thinking about those two other things? So it doesn't go to effectiveness or efficiency to not focus. One last thought, you're focused on the email or the document they sent you, you're about to reply. Maybe instead of an email reply, maybe you should reply with, hey, there's some great thinking. Why don't we get on a phone call or a Zoom and really talk about it, really discuss it? You're going to get both of you and your organization, I believe, will get a lot more value from approaching in that way. So it's October. The word of the month is focus. I strongly encourage you to experiment this month. Try some of the things we've just talked about. Focus more deeply. Send me an email at ken@jacobscom.com and let me know your success with that, or reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you feel you're not focusing, you're not spending your time well, you're not being as productive as you might, or you're challenged by time management and productivity, or someone on your team is, please reach out to me. Either send me a LinkedIn message or again, an email, which I will read thoroughly at ken@jacobscom.com. And let's set up an exploratory coaching session. You may be surprised at what we can achieve in 45 minutes working together. I look forward to hearing from you. And as we always say, until next time, keep on taking the lead.